After months of legal and political wrangling, President Trump's executive order banning entry into the U.S. from 6 Muslim-majority countries goes into effect tonight. Earlier this week, the Supreme Court gave a partial green light to get started, ordering those with what it called bona fide family or business ties to the U.S. to be granted entry. Last night, the Trump administration laid out which connections count. And joining us to discuss these guidelines is Yeganeh Torbati. She covers the State Department for Reuters. Yeganeh, welcome back to the program. So what is the administration saying now about who is permitted in and who isn't?
Right. So from these 6 countries, and individuals who have certain family connections, so spouses, mothers, fathers, children, siblings, even step-siblings, they can be allowed in. The State Department is counting that as a bona fide connection. But if you're the grandparent of a U.S. citizen, for instance, or the grandchild, and you're trying to get in and you're a citizen from one of these 6 countries, that does not count in the State Department, in the U.S. administration's view.
And there was also a definition of business relationship.
Right. So if you're a student that has been accepted into a U.S. university, someone with an offer of employment from an American company, or even a lecturer coming into lecture at a conference, for instance, or university, you can be allowed in. But if you're someone who's just booked a hotel room or a tour or something like that, that does not count.
And what about those people who were in the process of trying to get a visa to come here?
So any individual who's been granted a visa, those visas are not going to be revoked. They're still valid, and they'll still be able to come into the United States. But there's thousands potentially of people who had applied for visas. They were waiting to hear back. Those individuals, we're not exactly sure, but I think that's going to be something that now consular officers will have to take into account these guidelines when they're assessing, are they actually going to give that visa to that person or not.
And Yeganeh, did the administration explain how it made this dividing line when it comes to family relationships?
It seems a little bit arbitrary from the outside. What the administration said today to reporters is that they looked at guidelines that they have from the Immigration and Nationality Act, which is the main U.S. law that governs U.S. immigration, and they said that that is how they're going to assess, which family relationships count and which don't. Critics, of course, say that they're still hewing this line very narrowly. They're interpreting the Supreme Court ban narrowly, the Supreme Court ruling narrowly, so that they can let in as few people as possible.
So we know this has been subject to litigation. Is it expected there are going to be more lawsuits, or does this settle it?
We haven't seen people in refugee groups or institutions like the ACLU running yet, saying that they're going to be suing over this or filing new complaints. It is certainly a possibility. One other thing to mention is that the administration seems to be very narrowly interpreting which refugees it's going to let in. It's saying that just having a relationship to a resettlement agency is not enough, and therefore any additional refugees that will be coming in this year will have to have some family relationship in the United States. The refugee groups are very upset about that. They think that that violates the spirit, or if not the letter, of the Supreme Court's order, and that's something that we're going to see if there's going to be litigation or not. It doesn't seem like, as of yet, there's been any complaints filed.
All right, Yeganeh Torbati with Reuters, thanks very much. This goes into effect tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yes.
We thank you.
Thank you.